Hey and welcome. I'm your boy Solo. In this video, I'll be going over a few things I wish I knew in OBS. Before I waste any more time, let's jump into it. Now this is just going to be a fast overview of each one. If there's one that you want to know more about, leave it down in the description below and I'll look at making it a future video. I'm going to start off with just a simple one that I see a lot of streamers not using. So to get started, the first one is studio mode. Now, I see a lot of people that do not use this. Now, when you're using studio mode, some of the key features here is, this might be a little bit small. What it is you change this one here, is your preview and recording scene. And this is what's actually being seen. When you happen to be like on stream and you're loading up your game and things like that, you would be able to change your scene to something else. So for example, if I wanted to make changes to this and I wasn't recording, I would be able to change the scene a little bit before actually putting it live. So I would be able to put up my Call of Dragons thing here and it would be playing over in the preview, but it wouldn't be going out to stream. So I think this is pretty cool, and all you have to do is transition and then it'll transition to the Call of Dragons. So this lets you do lots of cool things. So I can turn it off, and this will prevent you from having to worry about remembering some things. So now that I turned it off, it's not in your preview. That means this is the next one. So when you hit transition, it'll go to this, but it will stay up there and the way it was before in the recording slash live until you click the transition. When you click the transition, bam, it switches. So if you're switching scenes a lot and let's say it looks a little bit janky or messy or you make mistakes, you can actually just open Studio View, add what you want over here, make the change, and then transition it over so that it's not you making a bunch of changes where your stream is watching you. You'd be able to put on some clips, you'd be able to put on some show, and then you'd be able to actually make edits inside of your OBS while live, and nobody would even see it. So when you're done, just click transition. Bam. So this is a good way to modify, edit, or change your OBS while you're actually live streaming or recording. I find this is a super good tool that a lot of new streamers just look over and don't use, where it's actually fairly powerful as long as you just get a good idea of how it works. There's a few things like I didn't really know at first that I was making changes over here and then weren't happening over here until I clicked the transition. So I was making a whole bunch of changes to my stream and then not clicking the transition, thinking it was. Anyways, once I learned how to use it and just click the transition and all the cool things that I could do before clicking transition, now it's a tool that I use quite often. But like I said, it took me a little bit of time to learn how to actually utilize it so that it was actually something that I was using on a regular basis, because I didn't switch scenes at first a lot because it was something I had to set hotkeys up for or click over to OBS. And now this here still makes you click over onto the OBS, but I think it's just pretty easy to have the things change first. You can see that you're making the right change and then click transition instead of accidentally sending you to the wrong scene. For example, if you mean to put on the BRB and accidentally put on your game or other scenes if you have a lot. This will make it easy just to make sure that you're making the right selection before you transition. I'm going to turn this one here off, so I'm going to remove the studio mode just so that I have the preview here and we're not looking into a mirror. But the next one here is custom Dockers. This is another tool I wish I knew when I first picked up OBS, because it actually changes what you can do inside of OBS. So there's a lot of people that use OBS and then load up their Twitch stream. So I used to do that quite a bit as well, but there's actually no need to do that. What I mean by that is if you want to add something that is in your Twitch, let's go over here. I'm going to log into my Twitch. We're going to go to my creator dashboard and we're going to look at the things that you might want in the streamer manager. We'll go to the stream manager. So this here has some things like you can edit your stream information, stars a guest, sound alerts. Like there's a few things over here like your rate a channel. When you click on it, it'll go through and bring up the names. And a lot of people super like Streamlabs for this because OBS doesn't have it. But the thing is, OBS does have it. You just need to add it. So to add a quick action panel to OBS, all we're going to need to do is go here, edit quick action. Oh, never mind. All we're going to do is click over here and pop out the quick action. Now from here, it's going to give us a URL or a web address. And from here, we're just going to be able to click copy. Now this is the thing I like about custom Dockers so much. This is why it's one of the things I wish I knew. You can add anything as a custom Docker as long as you can find the web address. So anything you can pop out, any amount of different chats, websites, anything at all that you can get a web address for, you can add as a custom Docker. Open custom Docker, Docker name. We're just going to name this here something like quick access. Quick panel is just easier for us. And then just paste the URL and click apply. This is instantly going to add your quick actions panel. You are going to have to sign in for this here as well though. Okay, once you've logged in, It did require you to log in, so anything that you're taking from a website, just remember if it's behind your channel information and stuff like that, you are going to have to actually log in, but it's just as simple as logging in. It's just like any other browser. And there you go, your quick actions panel. You can stick that anywhere. It's a Docker, so this here will be able to just be added anywhere. It's the same as any other Docker. We're just going to click close unless it's locked. Okay, I just clicked the lock and unlock, and then there we go. There's the quick access panel just up in the corner, just like it would be in the Stream Manager. Then if you want to do a raid from inside of OBS, it's just as easy as Streamlabs or any other software that might happen to have it. You just click there, go down through, and select your one. That's one reason why I like custom Dockers. There's hundreds of examples of other things that you can add. You can actually add your whole entire stream info page. You can add anything on here, anything that you can pop out, so definitely keep that in mind. If you can pop it out, you can add it. So you can add your stream, you can add your chats, you can add your activity feed from here as a custom Docker. You don't have to use the ones in there, and that goes for any website as well. So there's lots of other ways to use this. I'm just using it with the Twitch stuff today because that's all I use it with personally. As far as your imagination can go, you can add any amount of things, any amount of tools, and anything that you can get the web address for. Even if you have to sign in, it will just allow you to sign in and use it. So I think those are great things to have and a great tool to use. So definitely take a look at custom Dockers if you haven't. I think this is a tool that a lot of people are missing out in, and they definitely could just benefit from it, making things a lot easier, like your quick access panel. There's a few things, like I go to my Twitch dashboard a lot. You don't need to. You can actually just add that stuff in OBS and fix a lot of that problem of having to go through all that extra step. Now, number 3 on the list is a little bit more subtle, and a lot more people know how to do it, but I definitely think it was worth a mention, and it's the themes. OBS looks like this for me right now because this is the way I like my OBS looking. I enjoy to have all the extra space. To get here, the new OBS actually changed things. So in settings, in the very first general tab, there's languages and themes. Now I just picked the dark theme, but you might be on the Yami. So the problem with this is when I changed it, it takes up so much more space. Now this isn't a problem on this here screen because it's a 1440p, but the problem is in my 1920p, my 1080p monitor, is some of these things don't fit as well. So this here information here has in a block, and just I had to scroll and move things a lot. So I enjoyed being able to go into here and just click the different ones. This is just the start. These here themes here, there's actually, you can go to obsprojects.com, search for themes, and there's a few of them that they actually have that you can add. I've actually covered this in a video before, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you want to take a look at that. But there's actually a big page full of these here that you can install to make them your own. A few in here that kind of make it look like other programs. The one I like the most, though, is just pretty much the system and the default. And the system is white, so I picked the dark. I find that things take up the right amount of space. Now, there's a little bit here at the top that I don't really care for, but you get what you get. The Yami's the default. This is what everyone else is using, and it gives the defined border along the top, which does look quite a bit better. But I just didn't like it that it had all these here headers were extra big. And first thing you change that away, everything gets smaller text, easier to read. In my opinion, on a 1080p monitor, this here just makes it easier to read. And when I put it up to the Yami, I find things too big and crowded, and it smushes some of my things when I bring it over to the smaller monitor. So that's just one thing that I super enjoyed, the themes. And being able to upload your own theme and change your theme to custom ones later on, I think is really cool. And like I said, you can check out obsprojects.com for more themes that you can download and install. And I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below to the video that I cover that in. Okay, the next one is a super basic one. Number 4 on my list is actually filters. And as much as I know this should be something everybody knows, a lot of people actually don't know that the filters are different for different things. So it depends on if you have audio or video filters. And when you click on the filters, there's quite a list of effects. The thing about these here filters is you can add to this list. A couple of really good filters that I actually enjoy using is the replugs, which I'm using right now to make my voice sound so that it's not so high pitch, and I took the bass out of it a little bit. So if I get too close to my mic, I don't have to worry about it being boomy. The VST plugins, Real EQ is the one I use from replugs, and I find this here a great one. And you have to add it. You just install it to OBS, and it's the same thing. You can go to OBS projects, find dozens of these here things that you can add, and it expands your filter. So you can use so many more filters. There's a lot of things you can add in here. Same as NVIDIA's background removal. There is a third-party plugin that you need to add for these here things to work, and that's something I found a lot of people didn't know. The one thing I can suggest for filters is checking out what other options you have. There's a lot of things that you can add to the filters, and I don't recommend just only using the default ones in here. There's things that can move your scene into 3D. There's background removals, there's sound removals, there's just so many options of things, and I've only just barely touched the surface myself, and this is one thing I wish I knew early on. I'm just learning that there's so many more things I can actually do with OBS now that I wish I knew this here earlier, so that I'd have a bigger recommendation of filters that people should use. But there's lots of things like moving your scene in 3D environments, move transitions, and a whole bunch of other cool ones. Nutty is a good person to check out on YouTube. He covers a lot of cool things that you can do with your stream in OBS and StreamerBot as well. So that's something else I definitely recommend, is checking out a couple of other people that cover these. I don't have very much to cover on this one here because I'm still just learning that one myself, like I said. But the next one is just something very simple that I didn't know was here as well in OBS, is timers. OBS has a built-in timer, and I have people asking me on my videos all the time, when are you going to make me a timer? How do I make a timer? How do I set timers for this? How do I set timers for that? It has always been built right into OBS. It's actually very simple. It just doesn't say timer. So I'll show you how to find that now and show you exactly what I mean. So if you need a countdown timer, all you need to do is go to Tools, go down to Scripts. There will be nothing here. This here won't say anything. Let me just delete this one here. I'm just going to delete it so that there's nothing here. This is what it's going to look like for you. And when it loads up, all you have to do is go down here and click the plus. It's going to have some here for you to pick from. So there's a clock. If you want to show what time it is for you right now in your country by code, you can just add this here, and it's just something you can add the code to, and it'll pick up your time zone and show you a clock. There's a few different ones to pick from. I haven't used this one here as much. There it is. Countdown timer, instant replay, pause scene, and URL text play. That's something you're going to have to play with. I haven't touched that one at all. The countdown timer. So we just click open, and there it is. So duration 5 minutes. Text source. You can pick some things in here if you have them added. I don't have anything here. And what your final text says is like starting soon. Done. That's all you need to have. That's as easy as it is to add a timer. One sec. Okay, my bad. So right here we're just going to add a text source too. Actually, just because I think we need it one. So text GDI, we're just going to add that one there. We're just going to click OK. Click OK. We're not going to change anything. Then we're going to go back up to the tools, click on scripts. It should let me have added to the text source. I'm going to restart right quick. I'll be back in a second. Okay, what I had to do was close OBS and then open it again. After I added the text source to the sources, it's just a drop-down menu, text GDI. That's my bad, guys. I messed up there. I forgot I had to add the source, and I don't know why I had to restart OBS, but there's the timer. Shows up here. One sec. We'll get to there you go. So that's a 5-minute timer. We'll close this here and disable the preview. But again, all you'll have to do is go in here. Once it's set, it's super easy. You can change the minutes to 5 to 3. Definitely don't make anyone wait 5 minutes or more to see your stream. That's actually a bad thing, okay? The less time, like having a startup to make sure everyone gets in there for 2 or 3 minutes isn't bad. Never go over 5. Okay, always go under 5. If you're making people wait 10 minutes, you're actually aggravating people. That's actually a horrible thing to do, to make somebody, the first person in there is gonna wait 10 minutes just for stream to start. That's a beep move. Okay, so we're just out of the way. We're just gonna close this one. We're just gonna close this one here down. This is just something that I really thought was cool. A lot of people are asking me, I need a countdown timer, and going through crazy amount of stuff to try and get a timer. And all you have to do is just click and add it in like this here. And you can change the size and stuff. I just left it the whole entire screen so that it would show up really good. But you'll be able to change its font and everything like that as well. So it's super customizable, super easy to use. Once you got it set up, it's just something you can turn on and off when you want to. And that's what I do, is I just hide it, unhide it, and restart it. You can just reset your timer in here. But you do have to remember to go up to the tools and click your scripts, and then click on the script here to edit it. Again, once you get used to it, super awesome tool. Something I wish I knew at the very start, instead of going through and making a bunch in Stream Elements and Streamlabs and Nightbot just to make myself a timer when you don't need to do any of that. We're just gonna give that one a close. And the last one, last but not least for sure, is StreamerBot. This is a tool I wish I started using at the very first of OBS. Why? Because it takes a little bit to learn. and it's not the prettiest program in the world. And it's just, we cheat a lot when we're streamers, and we find the easy ways. We find the easy bots like Stream Elements and Streamlabs. Like, those are so easy, just click, all your commands work and stuff like that. But there's a spot where you start to want more than they have to offer. The options are get 2 or 3 bots, or just get a tool like StreamerBot. This here bot, when I bring it up here, it doesn't look like much, but it can do just about anything. I'm just going to move it out of the way here, and I'm going to put this here back on. I'm going to enable my preview, and I'm going to use my SO command. So the normal SO command for Stream Elements does some things, yes. For me, when I have it on my streaming scene, my SO command will bring up a head, it'll do some things, GG's. So what I'll do is I'll leave a clip in here now. So when it's normally running, that's what it should look like. It'll pop up with a head. I forgot I was on my recording scene and not my streaming scene. I have them set up different. And all you need to do is set them up in StreamerBot. Now, this is an awesome tool that if I would have started using earlier, I would know how to use it so much better now. And that's the thing with this tool. It's not that it makes a whole bunch of things super easy. It doesn't make anything super much better. It's just I wish I had more time to use it, to learn it, because now I'd be so much better with it. And the things you can do with it, just, you're going to find after a while that the normal streamer bots, they have limits. And most bots that aren't downloaded to your computer have online limits and a lot of other things that's sending and receiving data all the time. So if you're having issues with, like, let's say internet speed, having a bot that's all online and all cloud-based is actually not easy. And I wish I would have had this here early when I was starting and I was having a hard time streaming. And there's just a big learning curve to it. So everyone looks in here and it's like, oh, well, it kind of looks a little off, but it's simple. It's just, here's your users. These are the people in chat. You go to your actions and you build stuff. So I made my SO command. As you've seen, it's not too crazy, and it's just add a bunch of sub events and add the triggers. So when this here command SO is run, this is what's going to happen. And once I learned that basic things like this here, setting it up, yeah, StreamerBot makes it so you don't have to do this here for every command, and it's just one button click and all your commands are add. The thing about what you can do with your commands, you can add animations, you can add videos, you can add anything from your computer you want. You can make it move your scenes. You can make this here do actually anything that you can physically click on in OBS. This here program here can do inside of your OBS. So someone can run a command to end your stream. Someone can run a command to change your scene. Someone can run a command to change your volume up or down, fix your mic. You can have this here bot can do just anything. And this is a tool I wish I would have picked up at the very start, because just the amount that I would have known now and how many more things I could do with it would just make my stream so much better. There's no better tool for streaming than this one here right here. StreamerBot has been an amazing find. I can't believe something like this here is being slept on because of its looks. Like, yeah, it looks like it's from the 90s. And I don't blame anybody for not using it. Like, it looked like it may have come out of it might have been one of those CDs that come out of a cereal pack or whatever. Like, it's that old looking, but it's not. It's definitely very modern, and there's a lot of things in here that are so much further ahead than every other bot that you can get. And unless you're using it, you won't really know. But this is definitely one of the tools that I put on my top list. But that's the last one. These are my list of tools that I thought were super good and things that I wish I actually knew in OBS. So the studio mode was number 1. I still think that's a great tool. That's a thing that a lot of people should be using but don't. Number 2 is the custom Dockers, a way to customize OBS to make it your own, and not like Streamlabs or other, like, it actually lets you add anything you want. Number 3 is changing the themes, just to kind of give it a little bit different of a look. If you happen to have things not fitting right, this is super great. How to add filters, third-party filters, knowing that those exist, knowing that you can go look for them. Other things like removal of background doesn't have to be the one that's built in. You can actually find other ones. Moving scenes, transitions, 3D environments, all that stuff can just be added as a filter as long as you're willing to go looking for them. 4 is the built-in timer. That one there's an obvious one. Just everyone looks for it and they don't really know that it's just straight there as a tool. That's something pretty easy to click on. And it's like 4 things. You got to move around and add it. Close OBS, open it, finish the setup, add your minutes, click OK. Reset your timer when you remember. Super easy. And then this here, StreamerBot. That's the last one. StreamerBot's definitely the most, even though it's number 5 on the list, it's definitely the best tool I've ever found. And one of the things I wish I learned when I first got OBS, I wish I opened up StreamerBot too. because if I was just as good with StreamerBot as I am with OBS, my stream would be just twice as cool because you'd be able to do twice as much cool things on it. But that's it for this one here. I just covered them pretty fast. I just wanted to go a quick overview over them. But if you're looking for them in a lot more detail, any one of these here things in the list, you want a little bit more detail. I do have a video covering most of them. If you just want a little bit more detail on them, definitely leave it down in the description below, and I'll definitely try and cover it in a future video. So if you're interested in that, get subscribed so you don't miss it. But that's it for this one here. If you think I forgot or left something out, definitely leave it in the comments below. And if you like or found the video helpful, hit the thumbs up and get subscribed for more content. Thanks for watching.